Hi, everybody, and welcome to week 6, our last and final week. I hope that you all have learned as much as I did in this course. This week, we're going to take a look at advocacy in healthcare. Our student competencies and our weekly competencies are to describe how healthcare laws, regulations, rules, and standards can impact consumer care, access to healthcare, and healthcare costs through advocacy. The individual student competencies, we're going to define healthcare advocacy. We're going to identify 3 healthcare advocacy groups. We're going to look at the importance of healthcare advocates, including healthcare managers, and how they can influence change in healthcare policy and law. And we're going to discuss how healthcare law, regulations, rules, and standards can influence reimbursement, access to care, and affordability of care to consumers. Go back to our slide here and look at what is healthcare advocacy. Simply said, it's defined as the support or defense of a cause and the act of leading on behalf of another person. So it is a group or a person who is supporting a patient or a group of patients. There can be large groups that are large group advocacies, and there can be a patient advocate that is their defined role in a healthcare institution. So just a quick look here, you've got your American Diabetes Association, American Heart Association, American Lung Association, Epilepsy Foundation, March of Dimes. Those are all examples of healthcare group advocacy groups. Patient advocacy groups defined. So these groups educate, advocate for, and provide support services to patients and their caregivers. Their primary mission is to improve the life of patients and their caregivers. While most people are aware that patient advocacy groups work directly with patients and caregivers, few realize that some of their most impactful work can be done with the healthcare industry. The industry works with patient advocacy groups to increase patient engagement across the entire patient life cycle with the aim of producing and delivering better treatments to patients. These groups can be composed of individuals. They can be both lay people and professionals. They can be voluntary or democratically organized. And their mission is to combat a particular disease, disability, or group of diseases and disabilities, or to improve and protect the health of a particular group of people. They can be formal organizations like the AHA, the March of Dimes, or they can be informal cooperatives or consortiums of individual patient advocates and small organizations like the Diabetes Online Community, which is basically organized around the hashtag DOC. Formal patient advocacy groups are often established as tax-exempt organizations, and they must operate within IRS-mandated restrictions and requirements. They're limited in the amount of lobbying or legislative activity they can engage in. So in other words, most of them can't go to our state representatives and try to get money or try to change their opinion about different laws that have to do with healthcare. A quick Google search will give you numerous examples, and your paper actually is going to ask you to talk about one, or your discussion rather. But there are the American Nurses Association, Families USA, Healthcare Now, Shout America. AARP is a very popular one, and AARP actually does have some legislative power. Alzheimer's Association, Foundation for Suicide Prevention, National Kidney Foundation, National Multiple Sclerosis Foundation, COPD Foundation, Mental Health America. So let's take a look at our discussion and our assignment. For our discussion forum, we're going to look at what is healthcare advocacy and what roles do healthcare advocates assume. Are healthcare advocacy groups the same as special interest groups? I want you to actually give me a definition of the healthcare advocacy group versus the special interest group. I want you to look at 3 healthcare advocacy groups And if you were to pick a topic in healthcare to advocate for, what would it be? And why do you feel it is important to advocate for this topic? It can be any topic that you like. You see a couple examples there. It could also be for certain patient populations or diseases. The final research paper, Advocacy in Healthcare, is worth 200 points. This is going to be a 6 to 8 page paper of content and also include a title and a citation sheet. I want you to choose a healthcare facility. Can be community walking clinic, homeless shelter, rehab, hospital, whatever, nursing home. Describe that facility to me. Then identify the needs of the population served. So if it's a nursing home, identify the specific needs of this elderly population or a rehab population or this homeless population. Discuss how you, as the healthcare manager of this facility, would advocate for the needs of the population served. So again, how would you facilitate, how would you advocate for the needs of your homeless population, of your cardiac patient population? Discuss current legislation, laws, rules, and regulations surrounding the needs or issues and identify what actions need to be developed or changed to improve the health and well-being of these consumers served. So look at legislation, laws, rules, and regulations such as Medicare and Medicaid if they have something to do with your population. Look at other kind of legislation or laws that have to do with maybe immunizations or whatever has to do with your population. And then tell me the best strategies and tactics on how to begin the advocacy process for this particular population. What might come in handy when you're talking about this is the reading assignment from McWay, Chapter 16, which has to do with reimbursement methodologies. It looks at such terms as third-party payers, managed care organizations, health insurance exchanges, PPS systems, value-based initiatives, and revenue cycle management, DRGs, things like that. As always, if you have any questions, concerns about discussion, the paper, assignments, readings, anything, please get in touch with me. I ask that you have this week's assignments in on time, please, to give me enough time to correct them and get final grades in by the Thursday after. I want to thank you for a good course, and maybe I'll see you online in the future.